So he did a time lapse of me turning on my computer, going to print it out, realizing I only printed one copy at 60% scale, so the text was really tiny. So he came back and filmed me doing it again to get 4 copies at regular scale, and then he filmed Matt fumbling a piece of paper. So our intro is all about paper. That's it.
Where am I sitting? Here?
Yeah. You just sign this NDA.
All right. Okay. Do you need this? Okay, Peter, Hyper Light Drifter, Into the Breach, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, The Walking Dead, Okami HD, Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, Fortnite, Overcooked 2, Salt and Sanctuary, Inside Limbo, Wolfenstein 2, Doom, Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, Minecraft, Stardew Valley, Celeste, Undertale, Gone Home, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, The Gardens Between, Towerfall, FIFA 19, Bastion, Transistor, Dark Souls Remaster, Warframe, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Child of Light, Starling, Windjammers, LEGO DC Supervillains, Mega Man 11, Football Manager 2018, Team Sonic Racing.
Hey, those are all Switch games, but Nintendo didn't make any of those games.
Right. It was kind of funny because last year we had Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle as a third-party game on the Switch. We had, in terms of third-party like partnership, we had Metroid Samus Returns on 3DS. Despite the fact that more publishers were showing third-party support for Nintendo on the Switch, as opposed to the Wii U, which was kind of like dark days for third-party support Nintendo, this year was just like almost a bevy of third-party titles on the Switch.
Yes.
It's almost gone from like last year was, you know, Zelda, Mario, first-party titles. Now all of a sudden, it seems like the Switch is the go-to console if you want to play a game, period.
Yeah, well, it makes...
Almost.
Yeah, but it's got a huge advantage over other consoles.
Yeah.
It's portable.
Yeah.
Right? Which makes a huge difference for a lot of games like
And there's
the
a lot
ones
of people,
you listed.
there's a lot of people saying that they don't have that great of a release schedule this year, or like they're just trying to cushion, you know, the release schedule until Smash Bros. Releases on December 7th.
Sure.
I would disagree. I would say this release schedule is awesome. Yeah, we might have played all these games before, or some of them before, but like you said, it's portable. We can actually just like, they become a whole different experience when they're on the Switch.
Yeah,
and I
and,
absolutely love this strategy.
I don't think we have to necessarily like look at Nintendo and say, oh, they're not doing a lot this year. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big problem or something. But they did make great hardware, right? And that's currently being recognized and everyone loves it. So yeah, like I'm really stoked to be getting all of these games, to have had a lot of them last year and to get so many more in the future. Like stuff that I literally thought, well, that's behind me. I won't get a chance to play that. Now I kind of have a baked in excuse, right?
I didn't think I'd play Hyper Light Drifter anytime soon, but that's coming out, as of this recording, it's coming out next Thursday. I'm pretty excited for that. Into the Breach, that's amazing. The fact that Into the Breach came to Switch before it came to mobile is pretty surprising because when FTL went to mobile, that was like my preferred way to play.
Yeah, dude, Hollow Knight jumped from PC
yeah.
to Switch before it went to PS4 and Xbox One.
It was
it's
because
still
of
not even
Switch
there.
that people talked about Hollow Knight this year. Last year,
Yeah.
there was a few people who were like, you should play this game. Hollow Knight's a good example, as is Dead Cells. Obviously, Dead Cells was early access up until this year. It came out on all platforms this year officially. It's almost like they're getting a new lease on life on the Switch. Obviously, Hyper Light Drifter was popular, but I would not be surprised to see it blow up again, much like Hollywood, much like Hollow Knight did, to get these like renaissances for these games.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that Nintendo's giving them this second chance, so to speak.
It's great for developers too. Like you hear, I can't think of any like specific examples off the top of my head, but I've heard developers say, our game didn't sell on Steam, period. Then we brought it to Switch. We sold, you know, hundreds of thousands of, or whatever. Like, they basically, yeah, a new lease on life, but like an actual lease on life, like a chance for the game to succeed.
I'm gonna play Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
Aside from Smash Ultimate, if I'm a Nintendo fan, what else, why should I be excited to have a Switch? We've kind of already talked about this.
Well, you mean for the rest of this year?
For the rest of this year, going into
Right.
spring.
There could be some stuff that we don't know about yet. Nintendo, they do that once in a while, right?
Yeah.
They'll announce something. So I don't want to say like we know everything, because we definitely don't.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Super Mario Party. I've traditionally not cared about that series, but like the last game, if I remember correctly, was really tied into Amiibo. And that was when Nintendo was like gung-ho about, let's find a way to make Amiibo the thing that people latch onto. It didn't work, no one liked it. It kind of ruined the game experience. So they're bringing back Mario Party without a bunch of that junk as far as I'm aware, but then they're also allowing you to put multiple Switches together to make custom game boards for the games that you are playing. So even though I don't like Mario Party necessarily, right, I do like the Mario universe and characters, and I know that Nintendo's great at making little mechanical things, like little fun little games, even if they're not huge ones. They can do like the nitty-gritty of game design really well. Pairing that with like a really unique way of matching up two consoles or handhelds, like that's pretty cool. I want to see what that's about.
If you're looking at like Sony's catalog for the rest of the year, they have Spider-Man, which is coming out in like a week. Is that it as far as first-party exclusives for Sony?
I'm probably forgetting something. I mean, I know
there's Forza Horizon 4 for Microsoft.
Right.
There aren't that many first-party exclusives coming out the rest of the year, and if you're at Sony or you're at Microsoft, do you think they're worried a bit at how much third-party support the Switch is getting?
Yeah, who knows? I think they're definitely aware of it, right? Like they've got to be trying to do something to ramp up awareness of their own platforms. I still think in the next few years we're going to see someone else, probably Sony, try to mimic what Nintendo's achieved with Switch. It'd be risky as hell, but like at the same time, like can someone really sit back and watch Nintendo run away with this, convertible console and that be the thing that gets people so excited? Like, can they really stand by and let that happen without them?
It's not just the portability, but I think if they just they work on that console, whether it's because of its actual the controls kind of just fit, but there's been very few games that haven't fit. I think Darkest Dungeon, despite how much I have played that on Switch, the UI doesn't really carry over.
Well, that's the thing too, is that you don't see a lot of utilization of the touchscreen. Despite it fitting the form factor of the system, like Stardew Valley didn't have touch controls. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that that's designing controls twice, if you really think about it, because it needs to support both the controller and touchscreens. Well, why bother? I wish the Joy-Cons were a little bit better. Mine has finally started to fail in certain ways, like the wireless radio on the left one's not that good, and I've known so many people who've had to have Joy-Cons replaced.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's obviously the thing that I use when I'm traveling and everything, but it's also just become my preferred console for games that could be on PlayStation.
What wouldn't you play on Switch?
What?
What wouldn't you play on
Darkest
Switch?
Dungeon. I wouldn't play any more of it. There aren't many things I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play real-time strategy on the Switch. I don't think there has been much real-time strategy. What would you not play on the Switch?
Probably a competitive first-person shooter.
As I said before, there's a lot of people who feel especially the second half of the year is a bit off for the Switch. Again, I would probably make the argument that it's off for every console.
That's just if you care about console wars.
Right, if you care about that. But I would argue it's thriving, and I really, really absolutely love, like we said, we get these games that have second chances on the Switch. We get these games that just feel like a whole new experience when they're portable. We have these games that I'd prefer to play on Switch if graphics isn't a problem and the actual visual fidelity is not a concern for me. I would prefer to have a game on Switch over any other platform, PC included.
Would you still want the Switch if there weren't Nintendo-made games on it?
Yes, I would. Because I'm not really playing it right now for first-party stuff. Smash will be great.
Yeah, so when I hear people talk smack about the Switch for the rest of the year, and what they latch onto is Nintendo's output, I feel like we're having two different conversations at that point.